declaration. But right now, actually, I was earlier on at the sidelines of the African Climate Summit, and I had an engagement with Percy Hellman, who is the Finnish Under-Secretary of State for International Development on Climate Smart School Meals Program on the pathway to mitigate effects of climate change, utilizing that area of providing food as a climatic interventions. Let's listen in. We are at the sidelines of the Africa Climate Summit 2023, the inaugural one, and we've been talking about interventions when it comes to blessing the continent of Africa and mitigating some of the effects of climate on this particular continent. Collaboration, essentially. How can the globe and Africa as a stakeholder play in making sure that we are mitigating climatic changes that we've been seeing? Now, there are different interventions, and one of the places that touches the soft underbelly is children, and especially in schools. When you intervene at a school and education level, it makes a whole difference. And right now, I'm joined by Mr. Percy Hellman, who is the Under-Secretary of State for International Development at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Finland. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking to KTN News. For starters, today, actually, you guys launched Climate Smart School Meals Program. Lay for us the foundation. How do these two worlds, the world of education, the world of food, and the world of climate, marry into each other?
Well, thank you first of all very much for the question, and it's truly an important topic that we are discussing here in one of the side events at the Africa Climate Summit. Kenya has actually been one of the leaders in Africa in terms of establishing and then expanding a school meal system. So we want to really cooperate with Kenya, and many other countries in the world are looking at their own school meal systems currently also. You know, my country, Finland, has taken the initiative together with France 2 years ago to establish a global coalition for school meals, which aims at being able to come to a situation by 2030 where every child would have access to a meal every day at school. So we are working internationally, cooperating internationally to achieve that goal, and we need everybody's experiences. We need to share how this school meal system is implemented in different countries, and we need to learn from one another. Climate, of course, comes into the question in many ways, actually. Providing school meals, of course, it's not only the fact that the child needs to have a meal at school. It's also a way of sort of enhancing local food supply systems, and that can be done in a climate-friendly manner. If food is produced and consumed locally, it's better for the climate, it's better for the environment. Similarly, we can use private sector innovations and thinking to make sure that the schools' meal systems are done efficiently, so that we don't produce food waste, which again is in line with the climate objectives, so to say, so that we take care, we actually do everything in a sustainable manner.
Okay. And I'm glad we have case in points that we can learn from each other. In fact, our president talking at this particular summit, President William Ruto, he touched the issue about collaboration and learning from each other. In regards to the scale issue, because I'm thinking Kenya, we are 50 plus million individuals. Majority of us are young, average age is 19. So we have many children in primary school level, high school level, and also tertiary level. How are you able to scale in an effective and more sustainable manner without sort of wearing out?
I think scaling, of course, is a key question. I can mention as an example my own country's experience, because we started to invest, really, our own resources. We started to invest in the school meal system and provision of school meals already many decades ago when Finland was actually a fairly poor country itself. So we sort of think that this is an investment into the country's development, into the country's own future. And of course, you need to use all resources available for that. Of course, domestic resources and mobilization of domestic resources is important, but with international partners, you can hopefully come to an even better scaling up. But really the key point in this international collaboration is also to share experiences, because all countries can learn from one another. This is not a north-south issue. This is like, for example, this global coalition for school meals. It's a partnership of equal countries. So the countries in the north can learn from countries in the south and vice versa.
Okay. And as you finish up, earlier on you mentioned the collaboration that your country is having with France and the targets that you're hoping to achieve. I know by the end of this particular summit, there will be the Nairobi Declaration in regards to the climate summit and what deliberations need rather to be made from this. From the area of this collaboration that you're seeing, what are the tentative targets that we're going to be seeing, especially applying to Kenya and the interventions that you're having in collaboration?
Well, we are here, of course, in an African summit. This is a summit for the African countries. Actually, it's the first ever Africa Climate Summit. And of course, the declaration and its content need to be decided by the Africans themselves. I would be very much hoping that there's some kind of a reference or mentioning of the importance of school meals and particularly on the importance of climate-friendly school meals coalition. I think many participants in this summit agree that development and climate are actually part of the same thing. You cannot really sustainably develop unless you pay attention to climate, whether it's climate mitigation or climate adaptation. So therefore, this particular meeting could give a strong push or support also for climate-friendly provision of school meals, which could hopefully then help the broader international coalition to put that even higher on the international political agenda. And of course, this should lead also into good decisions at the next climate summit, COP28, in the United Arab Emirates later this year.
Definitely. That's incredible. I know I want to let you go. There are different sessions ongoing. I'm thinking of provision of food, but also quality food and balanced diet, very, very important. Is there room for more partnerships and partners to come on board to address some of these key tenets?
There's definitely more room for partners to come in. And when you're talking about quality of school meals, you're talking about quantity also. Those are exactly the kind of things where we can learn from one another. No country has the best possible solution. Everybody can learn from one another.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time. All right. Yeah, so there we have it. The latest from the size of Africa Climate Summit, the first one. And the first of many, of course, right here at the Kenyatta International Convention Center.
All right. So that was on the sidelines of Africa Climate Summit 2023. Now I'm going through these declarations. It's quite heavy document with different points. And